Kitchens were vast, hard places to work, hostile, big, strong doors, massive steamers with I don't know, whoa, great big wheels to be able to shut and open the steamer. The cooking room was a bit like a church. This was where everything kind of happened. In those days, there was very little kind of bull or fluff regard to kitchen equipment. If you walked into a table, the table didn't twist or snap or bend like it does nowadays. You'd end it with a bruise for 2 years. I mean, this was strong stuff. And it was very little plastic, wooden boards everywhere, and they had to be washed and then scrubbed, and you'd put salt on them overnight, and you'd then scrub them with big wire brushes, particularly the butcher's block. Wow, two of us used to have to go backwards and forwards with getting the next layer of wood off it with the salt to make sure this thing was clean. My next section of work was butchery. Tough, strong, productive, focused, animalistic, pardon the pun. This was hard. And unless you were on it and moving, people used to get the arse. This was about next job. Are you capable of keeping up? This wasn't about understanding people's welfare or feelings. This was about, are you going to be able to deliver, mate, or not? So you'd be shown how to remove the H-bone from a leg of lamb and skin it and do whatever, and then you'd do one, it'd take you 25 minutes, and then it'd take you 20 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 5 minutes, then you'd be given 20 of them to do. You'd be given piles of, double best ends of lamb, and you'd be then bashing them away and chining them and pulling the skin off and getting rid of that blade bone out of it. And then the first one you'd prepare would look like a dog ate it, which is very different to the butcher. But then when you've done your 50th, wow, they look, well, pretty good actually. 20 boxes of whole chickens. Here's how to, take the wings off and the breasts off, and remembering what went on. Is that a leg or is that a breast? And how's that work? And how do I skin it? And where's the fillet? And I don't want X amount of strips. I wanted dice, and I wanted it for this and that, and keeping the skins and obviously the whole frame of the chicken to make the stocks with. And then this was talking about production. So the big amusement thing was I was a vegetarian. Hated blood, couldn't be doing with guts, so messing around with livers or kidneys and hearts and this whole thing, this used to absolutely make me feel revolting. But it kept the boys and girls amused. So boning knives and mess and chain aprons and butcher's block, the altar. Then on to sauce and main course as a junior. No hiding place. This was the place where the superheroes existed. So we used to make our sauces to order. Not the base sauce, because your Espanol or your demi-glace would already be made, but physically making a sauce for one portion. So, for example, you'd be doing a peppered steak. Actually, majority of times, peppered steaks were done in restaurants on Garridon with steak Diane and all that kind of stuff. And there'd be no plates. In those days, chefs literally used to put the physical main course dish onto a silver flat with a kind of a napkin thing and a bit of flowers and whatever, and make it look very nice. And then the waiter went to the table with his spoon and fork and then served it. But, we'd copper pans, loads of copper pans, middle of the stove. You'd smash your peppercorns onto your steak, if it was, for example, a peppercorn steak cooked in the kitchen, which it wasn't. So I'm just thinking on top of my head. And you'd then oof this into the pan with a few bits of shallot, and you'd then chuck a knob of butter into it, because everything was all about butter. Wow. You'd sear it off, you'd pull your steak out, you'd then pull the pan to a side, you'd chuck your alcohol in, you'd put a bit of stock in, you'd put some demi-glaze in, and you'd then reduce, and table 7 would be away, and the chef would be shouting, and I want 2 lemon sole on bouillie, and I want this, and I want that, and you'd be thinking, shit, 2 minutes, I need to finish my job off, what am I doing? Okay, I need to be faster, quicker. Roy's breathing down my neck, Nick wants this, he wants this, where the salad? And you'd be then finishing up Monty or beer and seasoning it, and Roy would come along with his little spoon and taste it, and then look at you, and you wouldn't know if it was going to either punch the shit out of you, which you never used to do, by the way, or kiss you, and that was it. Next dish, on we go, onto the tray, waiter goes out, bang, bang, demand, instruction. And if you cut yourself or bash yourself or burnt yourself, then that was all part of being the superhero. You had to sort your life out. There was no hanging around. This was delivery.